offer different opportunities. Like I said earlier, Abuja is the only city that guarantees you an ROI of 100% within 5 years.
Okay.
Now, London is a developed. London is a developed city, not a developing city. The difference between a developed city and a developing city is prices in London are almost capped. If you want to buy a property in Dagenham, the street in Dagenham, and the house is going for £70,000, almost universal that every property that is the same, similarly built, will go for about the same amount of money. And their income from that property is almost capped at maybe 6% or 8% yield in terms of rentals. And if you want to sell immediately, you're not going to get, within that 1 year, you're not going to get more than what you bought it for, which is about the same 70,000, because they are market value to determine the value of a property. Because that is what the market, that is what is everywhere in the market. However, in Abuja is different.
Okay.
Because it's a developing city.
Okay.
Which means the difference in one location might just be that a road was built from point A to point B, giving access to that location that was underdeveloped or undeveloped. Bringing in development to that location can increase the value of a property by over 200%.
Okay.
So your ROI is much higher. I mean, people will argue that, oh, the inflation is high, so you will not get value for money. No, that's not true. Because even with the inflation, you're still making a profit within a period of time, because it is a developing. So it is still in the process of achieving its value. Unlike London, that already has achieved its value and is only increasing in the yields increase based on their statistics, inflation, and all that, and yearly reviews. So your ROI in a London property will not is about 6 or 8%. I mean, in Nigeria, if you're renting sometimes here, when there's a shock in the system, you might lose value for about 2-3 years in terms of rental income. So okay, if you're collecting 1 million for your property that you acquired for 20 million, then over the time, just like what happened, there were no subsidies and everything went skyrocketed. And the value of things, that property now worth about 80 million, and you're still collecting 1 million. I mean, because you have a sitting tenant, and in Nigeria, it's yearly tenancy. Over the period of 2 years, you can still review and revalue that property rental value to bring it up to speed or up to current value, which is about maybe 4 or 5 million, which is why a lot of rents are going up. You hear a lot of complaining in Nigeria that rents are going up. The rents are not going up because landlords are wicked. Rents are going up because there was a shock in the system. But however, it's not like house is not like tomato. If you go to market, the prices will just change overnight because you have tenants there living there. It's a gradual process, because if the person living in your house has an income, and it was based on that income you rented that house. So over the period when you bring that shock to the system, increase his rent. A lot of them might not be able to pay, so you might keep the person out. Someone else. Yeah, those things come up, but it's not to say not a viable market. It's a very viable market. Another point that I like to raise is this. how much do you need to invest in the UK property market? Now you need capital, lots of capital. You know, here they have a lot of mortgage facilities, loan facilities. There are different ways you can get funds to invest. Your yield will also be very minimal, and it will take you a long time to recover your money back. Nonetheless, it's profitable, but at an 8% cap. Now, what the difference in Nigeria is, because there's a lot of development, it's a developing economy, you find a lot of off-plan deals. People say, oh, come to my estate, buy a land and develop. Now, you're going in with minimal capital. Without having to take a bank loan. You buy the land of, say, depends on your budget. You can buy a land of 15 million or 20 million or 150 million or 200 million. And you take your time over a period of time to develop the house as you earn. So depends on, you're not under immense pressure as though you have taken a mortgage where you must service it every month and you're under pressure month on month. But in this case, you're not taking a mortgage. You have bought the land in an estate. The estate is developing and evolving, and you too, you're building at your own pace. So over time, you'll find out that you might build that house without much pressure as you would have invested in the UK. And when you want to sell, maybe at the time you want to sell, you might be getting an ROI. The value of that property will have more than doubled in 2 to 5 years. So it's a different market and offers different opportunities. But I still believe Abuja offers the best opportunity for people that are looking to raise capital, people that are looking to invest, people that are looking to, create wealth. I think Abuja offers the best opportunity.
Okay, thanks for that. So if, as a follow-up to what you just shared now, and I hope that people are picking up the key points. If you're looking to raise capital, you're looking to raise capital, and within a shorter period of time, he's suggesting, and I believe that they put that he's suggesting that Abuja will give you a better return on investment quicker if you're looking to raise capital quicker. So, if I ask you again, say which areas in Abuja has the highest growth potential right now? Let me ask you.
So, like I said earlier, Abuja is designed in phases. As of today, phase 1 is completely, let me say, 98% developed. The places that are not developed in phase 1, where you'll find maybe in Guzakwe or Asokoro or Katambe Extension or Maitama 2, which was just allocated, those ones are not. So you'll find that those are places that came up, were redesigned to fit into phase 1 for political considerations. And those are high-end properties. Katambe Extension, Maitama, and honestly, if you want to start, I think you have $1 billion naira, you might not find. I mean, like I said, the places that they've reallocated around those phase 1 are still viable investments. You can put your money there, but you will be going in with at least 100, 200 million to those new allocations. For the old phase 1, you can't get anything for less than $1 million if you want to invest there, which I think is out of the reach of the average person. Now, in phase 2, you have partly developed. You have Abuja B, those ones are already fully developed. You now have places like Kaura, you have places like Mabushi, you have places like Abe, you have places like Kado. Now, if you have capital to invest here, I can guarantee you a 100% return on investment in 5 years. 100%. I'm not saying 50%. Say 100% return on investment in 5 years. If you invest in the right, if you go to Taco and buy the house and you're expecting 100% of investment in 5 years, not possible because that district has been serviced already. Now, somewhere like Mabushi and Katambi and Kaura and all these other places that are not serviced hold the greatest potential because if you invest there, you'll be getting your, little 10% or 8% return on rental. However, the day government takes infrastructure into that district, of which certainly because of its proximity to town and phase one, and the pressure on phase one, and the idea of them trying to decentralize or depressurize the phase one, those districts must be serviced. Any of these districts that you have invested in, you are guaranteed almost 150 or 200% return on investment. So I think those districts hold the greatest potentials. Now you also have places like Kasana, Guaripa, and Kogoma. These are also very viable districts where you can invest because they also hold great potential. The city is expanding. I mean, the population of people moving into Abuja can almost be akin to, how would I put it, and a mass migration. Because a lot of people are leaving all the states because of insecurity around Abuja and lack of opportunity, basically, to come into Abuja where they believe that there are more opportunities. I mean, if somebody comes from Kano to Abuja and he makes 200 million, the first thing he'll look for is how to buy a house in Abuja. Because he has seen that the city holds a lot of potentials for him. Yeah, so I believe this so it depends on what the person wants to invest in. I would always advise look for an estate surveyor, not a lawyer. An estate surveyor that knows the market, that knows what he's doing. Look for a professional that can guide you and advise you before going into it. But I would say these districts, for those that understand the market, hold the greatest advantage for anybody willing to invest. And it all depends on how big or how small you want to go in.
Well, thank you for that. So, are there specific property types, like could it be a block of what kind of things should we invest? Should be apartments or houses, or is it duplex land that investors should focus on here? If you want to answer quickly.
So currently, like I saying, I keep using the word developing city. 37 years ago, I went to Lagos. A place called Morocco. I don't know if you've ever heard of Morocco before.
No, not really.
So those that live in Lagos, anybody that was a little in his 40s or 30s, late 30s, will know where Morocco used to be. When I went to Lagos then, that place was a bush. I kept wondering what was in there. Though that was in the military, so there was a military guest house around there, which we stayed. It was after the law school, where they now call Ozumbambadiwe and all those places, Lekki Phase 1. 7 years ago, there was nothing there. It was pure bush. Pure bush. It was a jungle. In fact, swampy and unattractive. Today, if they tell you that the capital of Lagos is Ikeja, you'll be doubting. because most of the banks have moved their corporate headquarters, was VI and Ikoyi, that axis. And Lekki and all those places, in fact, going down to Aja and the rest, have gained serious value. In fact, unimaginable value. So imagine people that invested then in those places. If someone has at 25, less than about 20 years ago, when I was in university, Lekki phase 1 was largely undeveloped. Largely undeveloped. But today, I doubt if you can find a plot of land in Lekki phase 1 that is empty. Because development moves, and because of our population, and I keep using young democracy, which means we are evolving, and we are evolving very fast. Our population and the land mass and the opportunities are what is driving this development. Okay. And it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Okay, that's good. Thanks for that. For someone starting with a small budget, is Abuja still accessible?
Yes, why not? Like I said, depends on how much you have. Depends on, I don't know what small budget is. If you still have, as such, last year, if you have 5 million, I can tell you can invest somewhere. People that I took to invest in the property, they bought 5 years last year for 5 million. Today, that land is worth 15 million in 1 year without putting a block.
Which area is that, sorry?
Yeah, this is around Kasana. Now, why did the value increase that way by over 300%, 200%? Now, if you are aware, there's this whole Renewed Hope Estate going on around. Renewed Hope Estate is in Kasana. And because the government is doing the Renewed Hope Estate and the president wants to commission that estate, they have also awarded infrastructure, road infrastructure that leads to the district, therefore granting easy access to that district, which is what I said earlier about developing, which means any little activity that brings development there will increase the value of the properties.
Okay, so how much is your recommendation again? If someone has how much, you go to Karasana. You said Karasana, right?
Yeah, Karasana. As of now, I would say 15-20 million.
That's to buy. Would it be to buy a land, right?
To buy a land that you can build maybe a terrace apartment, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom terrace apartment.
Okay, let's put it in context now. Let's say someone buys a land for 15 million, and what would that apartment you're talking about? How much are you looking at? Let's say how much would it cost them on average? I'm not saying you must have the right figures to build it. What are we looking at?
So average to build it is not something I would like to delve into because, like I keep saying, inflation is a problem.
Okay.
But as of today, you would say with 30 million, or let me say 40 million, you can build a terrace apartment. So depends on your finishing. Your finishing will determine how much you will really spend. If you want to use Nigerian tiles, if you want to use Spanish tiles, if you want to use average toilet, you want to use the most expensive toilet. So all that will now depend on your finishing. But in terms of construction of the terrace, I say let me just say 40 million, you should have a decent.
Yeah. I don't know if my question is, I'm trying to have an understanding. Let's say I buy the land for 15 million, how much will my build cost? And if let's say I want to sell, how much would I'm just trying to put my head around it. Like, let's say I'm someone watching this and having this thought, how much would be I now know my purchase. Let's say it's taking about 15 million, like you advised, plus and minus. Just trying to see if there's a guide price, like plus and minus, how much will I buy, build, and maybe how much you think I would sell it, so that I'll just a rough idea. I'm not saying you must have the figures accurately.
Okay. Yeah, so let me say you buy a land For a terrace, maybe buy a land of 250 square meters or 200 square meters where you can build a terrace apartment. It will cost you maybe another, let me say 40 million to build a decent 4-bedroom terrace apartment, three-bedroom terrace apartment. That the total cost coming to about 55 million. Now, if you want to sell today, maybe you get 80 million.
Okay.
But over the period, like I said, because the activities they are just catching up. By the time the president commissions the Renewed Hope Estate, that property will increase in value.
Okay.
I cannot tell you by what percentage because honestly, we don't use those inflational indices.
That's
what
good.
You think will increase by 10% might increase by 40%.
Okay.
What increase by, so it all depends, but it is a developing area. So you're not expected that, okay, if you build, so if you buy today, it will take you maybe 8 months to finish building. So within now 8 months, certainly you have got to increase value. But the thing about it is, if you buy, you're not under pressure to build it within 8 months. You can take your time to build it. If it's 1 year, if it's 2 years, if it's 3 years, it takes you to finish building. Whenever you finish building, certainly you will get your capital and 100% ROI within 5 years.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Quick one. What would you say what are the major risks people face? Let me just put this question. So thank you guys for those that have joined. Thank you for as many that have joined. I'm struggling to keep tab with people that are joining. Thank you for all those that have sent roses and those that are liking the page and liking the comments. Please feel free to put your comments in the comments, your questions in the comment section, and if possible, give your budget and let's see if our guests can give us a suggestion of maybe what is obtainable with where you can, what area in Abuja you might be able to buy a property and so that you can, to help you like a guide on what to do. Thank you for Kenneth for saying God bless you. And everyone that dropped in a comment also, really thank you. So quick one, okay, Mr. Omaba, thank you. What would you say, what are the main risks people face when investing in Abuja property, Abuja real estate, and how do people avoid land disputes, legal issues, and scammers? And lastly, just within this section, I just want to put all this together. Anyone I don't remember asked me, do you think that Abuja property is overhyped? So first question is, what are the risks that people face? Let's just do two first.
Okay, no, I got all your questions. That's fine.
Go ahead.
What are the risks? So there's a saying, behind the glamour lies the gamble. Behind the glamour lies the gamble. Now, in this case, I will not say it's a gamble. Where it becomes a gamble is when you don't do your proper due diligence. Like I always advise, you want to seal that property deal. There are people on Instagram and all these places advertising different packages. But you need to do your due diligence. And you calling the property, saying, oh, I want to buy property, do you have the right documents and do you have this, do you have that? Honestly, you don't have it. That's foolishness on your part. Because anybody saying anything to you on Instagram or on any other platform wants you to buy and will tell you they have every single thing on earth to convince you to buy. But you must take your own footstep. It will cost you money to engage a lawyer or engage a registered estate surveyor and valuer. I keep using estate surveyor and valuer because they are the ones in the business of property. They're the ones that can guide you to say, oh, they know the lawyers might just do a surface search say, oh, this title is good and that title is good. But the surveyors will go deeper to say, oh, this man has a reputation for abandoning his projects, or he's not. They have more insight because it's the field, what they do, their bread and butter. So the risk you face is not doing your due diligence. The deals, there are so many good deals. Abuja also has a lot of properties that are high risk. And I will put the high risk properties. See, when you see a property in Lube, you see a property in anything called area council, it is high risk investment.
Why is it high risk? If you don't
So because of the titles are not completely. There was a law that was passed under the Obasanjo administration where we're banning area councils from allocating land. So if you notice, if you remember when in 2016 or 2017, I think where they demolished an estate that belongs to Platinum Savings Saloon around the Lube Express and allocated land which is now known as Kiami. Because it was an area council development. An area council does not have the right to allocate land. So most of those lands in Lube are using defective old area council allocations. Go and get some kind of approval and start developing. So now, because that development is spread across the city, I don't know if it will be demolished or if it will be regularized. But I still look at it as high risk investment. Now, if you go to any property that is allocated by FCDA, those properties are largely in good state. But you cannot tell what dispute exists in a property until you do your own due diligence. Property might have good title and everything, but there might be dispute between two directors that own the land or something. So before investing, I will always advise, do your due diligence, because you can fall prey. The deal, everything might look good on paper, it might look good on ground, but where you fail to do a due diligence, you might lose your money. Yeah, and that is what you find, because some developers also oversubscribe. And they don't tell you.
What do you mean by oversubscribe? Because a lot of people might not know what that word means.
Yeah, so a developer has 200 plots of land within his estate, and he now sells 250 plots of land within that same estate. Where is he going to get? And knowing that land is fixed. Where is he going to get the extra 50 plots of land to service the 50 people?
So why would you think that developers do those kind of things? Why?
So for so many reasons. When a developer wants to sell a property to you, what is happening in Nigeria is different from what you find in the Western world, because in the Western world, you can approach a bank, the bank will give you a loan, you develop the property, your interest rate on that loan is 8%, 6%, so it's manageable. Now, you have a land, you want to develop a house in Nigeria. The bank is telling you you're paying 35%. So if you take that, if you buy into that, and this 35% is year on year, how long will it take you? What will be the return on investment to service that loan? So most of them resort to parcellating the plot of land, selling it to raise capital. That singular act is where your opportunity lies. The opportunity in property is not in the selling, it's in the buying. If you buy the property at the deal, then just from buying the property, you have made a profit. Because you're buying it at a deal. So people that are buying lands in these estates don't know that they are buying They're buying an opportunity already.
Okay.
So now the developer sells those lands, raise money to do the infrastructure. However, because he has undervalued the land, he has sold so many. By the time the estate is almost fully occupied, he does not have money anymore, and greed sets in. Maybe some people that have come with different packages, I'll pay 5 million, I'll pay 10 million tomorrow. The same person, 6 months later, somebody come and say, "Oh, that party is for 5 million. I'm willing to pay you 8 million full cash."
Oh.
Meanwhile, another person that bought for 5 million is paying you 500,000. So that greed and that indiscipline sets in, and the person might go for it, therefore causing a lot of friction and causing that oversubscription. So there's so many things that cause those oversubscription. And I mean, sometimes the regulatory institutions are not hard on them on these things. So, they get away with it, or they just take it for legal. So I always advise people, if you're buying in an estate, make sure that you can start work. So that as soon as you buy, you take possession of your land, do some little things there, and know that the land is secured, so that you don't find yourself years later driving over who owned the land or who did not own the land, and the developer can tell you, "Oh, in your letter of offer, you had 6 months to develop, you didn't develop, so therefore we revoked it, and we are returning your money." So it's always advisable, and it is cheaper for you to pay a professional to get it done for you, because for people in the diaspora that always complain, "Oh, I was cheated, I was this, I was that." I laugh at them, because you're in the diaspora working so hard. You want to buy a property. You call the person that is selling the property, and he tells you, "Oh, I have a property, come and buy from me." Now you pay him. You don't have anybody interceding on your behalf. You're only believing what that man that you have given money is telling you, which might not be true. But if you engage an estate surveyor and say, "See, I want to buy this property, and this is in what capacity I want you to work for me," he now intercedes on your behalf. He's working for you because you're paying him. So he can diligently follow up that property you have bought. You can't just buy a property in the diaspora and just leave it and say nothing will happen to it, especially if it's in an estate, because, like I said, the developer, greed from the developer can always set in. When something is sold to you 5 million, somebody's offering him 30 million, he will sell it. And he might not even give you a 5 million, because he tell you that you have violated the terms of the development, and start giving you stories. And you find a lot of people, and most times people just rush into deals without really asking any questions. So, then you now say, if the property market is overhyped, it's not overhyped. It is actually underhyped. Why?
What you're saying is, in a short word, what is happening in Abuja is real, because that's one of the questions that people, especially in the diaspora, always ask, that because it doesn't happen this quick, or it doesn't happen this fast, like the way it is. Like, let's say someone were to buy a house in the UK, let's say for instance, for 100,000 or so, it might take that person like almost 10 years or more for that. Like sometimes they say it takes about 12 to 15 years for properties up the north of England to double. So that's why I asked the question. If you're in London, it might take about, sometimes they say 5, sometimes they say 8, sometimes they say 10 years. So someone might ask, is it overhyped? Is that true? Quickly.
In my earlier statement, the Western world, you're talking of a developed economy. When you say developed economy, it means that it has capped. So what you're not working now is with marginal interest. When you're saying developing economy, it's just the same thing that happened in Dubai. When Dubai started developing, then they come to Nigeria and tell you, bring 3 million naira, you buy a house in Dubai. 3 million naira. Now, can you buy that same house in Dubai for 3 million? Because then Dubai was a developing economy. So people were putting money, and a lot of people cashed out of it, because property you bought for 3 million, now you can sell it for $300,000. You bought that property for 3 million naira or 10 million naira, maybe just barely 20 years ago. You were all over Nigeria marketing those properties in Dubai, all over the world. But now you can't get those deals anymore, because it has developed. That is the opportunity in Nigeria today. The difference is that we're not developing as fast as Dubai. And the development in Nigeria is mostly private sector driven, individual driven, not government. But when government brings its infrastructure, it gives you much more value. And because Abuja is the federal capital city, the infrastructure development will always continue. I mean, the 8 years of Buhari was a disaster for Abuja because infrastructure was very slow. But I can tell you for free that since Wike came, properties in Maitama used to sell for 300 million are now selling for 1 billion. Wow. 1.2 billion. Wow. And somebody says it's overhyped. It's not overhyped. First of all, if you look at the exchange rate, it has just appreciated maybe by 30% in value in terms of the real value of the property, as against the 100% you are seeing in terms of amount. But what I keep telling people is, if you had kept that money in the bank in Nigeria, will it double? It will not double. But because it's in property, it has adjusted for inflation by itself, and also made you a profit by just buying the property. So it's actually underhyped because we are 200 million people. There are only 3-4 viable cities in Nigeria: Lagos, Abuja, maybe Port Harcourt. I don't even know the another city called. If I want Port Harcourt, I won't even come to say it's a fully metropolitan city like that.
Yeah, you know, the Port Harcourt people might argue with you, but that's another argument for another day. Just to add to and thanks for all the things you have shared so far. I was going to ask you a question about what a foreign Nigerian diaspora or anyone. When I wanted to say Nigerian diaspora, but remember that we have Chinese people investing in Nigeria. We have Lebanese bought a lot of properties. We have other people from different countries buy in Abuja. So I'm not going to limit my thought or limit my whatever. What I'm trying to say in essence that different nationalities buy in Nigeria. Guys, if you guys don't know, we have people from Kenya, Rwanda, people buying. So my next question is going to be, I get a lot of questions like this, and I want to, based on the estate we have, we're building an estate in Mabuchi. I will get a lot of questions. One minute, sorry, I think there's a feedback issue. I don't want to invest anywhere outside River Niger. So, so that means investing in Abuja is a no-no for me. This would be my last question for you. What are your thoughts about this? I get this a lot. Last time I was in China, I met some people, they made these comments. Also in the UK, I met some people, they made these comments. So in other words, because of the issues, they watch a lot of social media and they hear what's happening in Lagos, a revocation of land from people from the ethnicity, you know. And they made this comment. What are your thoughts about this view? You know, anything outside River Niger, count me out. So Abuja is a no-no for them. What are your thoughts, please? Quickly, our time is spent already.
I will not fault their thoughts. You know, because in property you need to know exactly why you're investing in a property. Is it as an investment? Is it for storage of wealth? Is it for your ego? Is it for a return on investment? So anybody saying that would have his reason for saying that. But what I always ask is, why do you want to go into properties? I'll give you an example. If I buy a land in Enugu today for 100 million, and I build a house that costs me maybe another 100 million, 200 million rent, what income can I have? If I buy that same land in Abuja and I build that house, the same house, because the cost of construction everywhere is about the same thing. It won't be cheaper in Abuja than in the East. What is the return on the investment?
So you are saying that I think they're not arguing that the Abuja investment is amazing, but their concern might be that what's happening in Lagos and some people's land. I'm sure you guys know what happened to Peter B's brother. His property was demolished, and so things like that. We also had different issues like that. See what happened to the landmark resort. The property was demolished, and maybe in like 2 weeks or less than 2 months or something like that, the government moved back the road also to the initial place. So things like that might be a concern for people that, especially abroad, looking to invest. And maybe that's why some of them argue that, okay, I don't want to invest in anything outside the River Niger, and Abuja, invest in Abuja is out of the equation for me. What are your thoughts on that? Fine. Quickly, wrap up here.
Okay, just let me give you an example. I know that when Heathrow was trying to build a terminal, some people's properties were affected. Until today, they're screaming blue mother. Because they don't want the government to acquire land. So that is the case of Landmark Plaza. Government was going to build an infrastructure that they were affected because what they were selling was access to the ocean. You understand? It was a resort of sorts. However, because of government's own infrastructure that affected them, what happened in Landmark Plaza was a mismanagement of communication, because it would have been well managed if the government had sat down Landmark, explained the plans. The whole media hype won't be there, but it was high-handedness from the government that caused that outburst. It was totally mismanaged, because every day government acquires land, and government, that land they're acquiring might be your own land. Some way somebody must be affected once government acquires land. Now, for issue of Lagos, I don't like to go into Lagos because Lagos has a lot of titling issues. It is not properly captured. So there are always titles that they say governor's consent. You rarely hear anybody in Lagos tell you they have a C of O. There's also one consent or one consent. The land titling is still very faulty. So I don't like to talk about Lagos. But for Abuja, like I've said, if you do your due diligence, and you can't buy a property as an investor, buy a land and leave it vacant. I advise people, no matter what, start something. Because being on it gives you security. If you leave it vacant, even on the title where you're buying the land, it states that you have to build within 2 or 3 years. If you're living in vacant, except it is in an undeveloped area where nothing is happening, then yes, you're rightfully so, you can leave it vacant because nothing is going on there. But if you're buying a land in an area that is developing, I always advise, this is my personal advice, do something, do your foundation. You can do the block work and leave it. Nobody is going to come and take your land because there's something on it. But when the land is empty, once the area develops, like I said earlier, greed sets in, and people strive to convert that land to theirs. And it happens everywhere in the world, not just in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you. Quick one. Because time's over now. So if I may recap, my understanding of what you're saying is that from everything that you shared today, is that there's still hope for people that have low budgets, that want to start low. So with about 15 million, you can get something decent in Abuja. Another thing I would say that I learned from what you said today is that because Abuja is still developing, so you can turn over your you can get cash. You can get a good return on investment quicker and have cash. And I think also you pointed out that just to get 3 takeaways for me, that there's prospects, and you also mentioned on the areas about stage 2, zone 2 and zone 3 that people can invest in Abuja. So your final thoughts, you can say that quickly so we can call this a wrap. Thank you very much.
I will say every market has its river, but Abuja flows like an ocean. the right time to invest is today. It's yesterday, in fact, as I say. But if you get your investment right in Abuja, you have created generational wealth that will outlive you, no matter what. And I will always advise people, don't follow the crowd. Bad things happen everywhere in the world. Even as Ukraine is on fire, people are investing in Ukraine. You know, bad things happen everywhere in the world. Block out negative things. Look at the positive side of things. And don't be afraid to invest. If do your due diligence. Be confident of yourself. And you make good progress.
Thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. So guys, we're going to how can people find you if so they can find you with your handle here? How about on Instagram, I believe, on your Facebook? What's your handle on Instagram? So people can look you up, because I'm sure a lot of people might want to send you messages directly to ask questions.
Instagram is not a business Instagram.
Okay.
So we'll use flame underscore. Let me see. A second. Oh, I didn't know you were going to ask me this.
Never mind. If you don't know, I'm going to put it. I'll post it.
It's underscore flamo. Underscore flamo. You can search me with Umba Ikechukwu on any of my handles. MBAHIKE CHUKW. But my Instagram name is underscore flamo.
Okay. Thank you very much for everything you shared, Ike. I really appreciate it. So guys, if you look up on my profile, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, or wherever, you'll see that we have an estate going on. We're building 20 units of 5-bedroom detached houses in Mabuchi, which is zone 2. So we have plots for sale at 150 million plus fees. So feel free to send a DM or send us a message on Facebook or wherever, or give us a call. You know. So yeah. Victoria Daniel said, I've always wanted to learn more on properties. Thank you, sir, for sharing. Appreciating you. Thank you for sharing all that you shared today. So I'm just going to say this. Please follow my page. Watch through the post on our page. You would see what's it called. You would see the progress we're making on the project. And if you want to be a part of, you want to buy land or you want to invest, you know, I would encourage you guys to key in, and you would smile because people are cashing out in Abuja. So if you have learned something new today, share this live and follow this page for more, and start exploring real estate in Abuja. Stephen Akintola, a very popular real estate guy, said the one thing. He said, don't wait to invest. He said, invest and wait. Don't wait to invest. Invest and wait. And I'll add, because I always tell you guys that the wise invest. And I'll add that the wise don't wait to invest. The wise invest and wait. Thank you very much for watching this live. See you next Sunday when we come live again. 19 that's 7 p.m. UK Nigerian time. God bless you all. Please, peace out and bye. Thank you. Bye.